What's the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Blending personal anecdotes with financial guidance, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 1997, delves into the path towards financial independence and wealth. The author contends that the book imparts crucial insights often absent from societal teachings, emphasizing that the knowledge passed down by the affluent is pivotal in achieving and sustaining prosperity. His assertions draw from personal achievements, notably his prosperous investment journey leading to early retirement at the age of 47. Who's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad? Robert Kiyosaki, an investor and entrepreneur, boasts an estimated net worth surpassing $80 million. Through the Rich Dad brand, he has authored over 15 financial self-help books, collectively garnering a global sale of more than 26 million copies. Who's Rich Dad Poor Dad for anyone fascinated by the dynamics of money and investments? And for those wishing to learn how to maximize their power to their greatest benefit, why read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Wondering what truly matters for your financial journey? Reflect on the teachings you received about life, money, and career from your parents. Chances are, it revolved around pursuing education, striving in school, and securing a stable job. Surprisingly, that might not be the best advice, yet it's what most parents and educators pass down. Speaking of education, consider this: what valuable lessons did you learn about wealth generation while in school? If your experience echoes the norm, it might be a resounding nothing. But here's the silver lining: the absence of this education isn't unique to you. It's a widespread gap in conventional teaching. The secrets to achieving and maintaining wealth exist, typically transmitted within affluent families across generations. The question is, how do you access this vital knowledge? I invite you to delve into Robert Kiyosaki's bestseller, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, with me. Over the next 20 minutes, let's explore Kiyosaki's insightful anecdotes and invaluable money lessons. Rich Dad, Poor Dad Lessons. Keycap 1: Wealth isn't earned through labor. Before we dive into the renowned financial insights, let's rewind to a tale about young Robert Kiyosaki at 9 years old, back in the 1950s. Robert and his buddy Mike were bright-eyed boys, dreaming of riches in their future. However, despite their ambitions, they lacked a roadmap to achieve this prosperity. After a failed experiment trying to extract coins from toothpaste tubes, they sought counsel from their fathers on how to amass wealth. Robert's well-educated yet poor dad doled out a familiar piece of advice: get an education, find a secure job. Sound familiar? It's a common mantra, but a somewhat misguided one. Following this advice leads to a life spent toiling for incremental pay raises while others, the government, creditors, and employers, reap the lion's share of the rewards. Essentially, Robert's poor dad might as well have advised, join the rat race, where you work for everyone but yourself. Many adhere to this mantra out of fear, driven by societal expectations. We're conditioned to believe that a good job leads to wealth, so we study rigorously as kids and labor even harder as adults. The outcome? We may dodge poverty, but we aren't truly accumulating wealth. Yet, some individuals, especially those who understand how money is generated and nurtured, don't instill this mindset in their children, people like Mike's father, the affluent mentor to both boys. So, what was the rich dad's initial suggestion? Surprisingly, nothing grand. He struck a deal with young Kiyosaki: impart financial wisdom in exchange for the boy's labor, albeit at the paltry rate of 10 cents an hour. Agreeing to this deal, Robert eventually, and angrily, confronted his rich dad after weeks of feeling exploited and unenlightened about money matters. The mentor's response, a subtle smile, delivered the first crucial lesson: life often tosses us around, and laboring for money doesn't equate to wealth. Here's the kicker: rich people don't earn their wealth through labor. Now you might wonder, if not through toil, how do they amass riches? Theft? Lotto winnings, perhaps? Backhand index pointing right. Discover more. So, money does buy happiness. Here's how. The Psychology of Money Summary, Top 3 Lessons. Is there a better place for your money than a savings account? Keycap 2: Invest in assets, let money work for you. To solve our earlier riddle, the path to riches isn't through theft or a stroke of lottery luck. The wealthy achieve financial success by letting their money labor for them. Instead of squandering their earnings on fleeting indulgences, they allocate a portion toward various assets. This crucial distinction propels them toward wealth without being tethered to earning a paycheck. Returning to Robert's earlier days, the concept of asset wasn't part of his lexicon. Yet, the rich dad, Mike's father, was about to alter this reality. Seated together, the rich dad elucidated a vital distinction: the wealthy invest in assets while the less affluent acquire liabilities, often mistakenly deeming them as assets. He clarified that assets augment your wallet, whereas liabilities deplete it, a distinction crucial yet often misunderstood. Consider a house, a perceived asset, right? In reality, it can be a colossal liability. Purchasing a house often entails a lifelong commitment to a mortgage and property taxes, draining funds from your pocket. The rich dad simplified the lesson for the boys: identify genuine assets and acquire them. Pursue liabilities, and financial success will elude you. He delineated the financial burden of different income classes. The poor and middle class rely on salaries to cover immediate expenses, including liabilities like mortgages, loans, and debts. But the wealthy? Their assets generate income that not only sustains them, but also allows for further investment, stocks, bonds, or rental real estate. This reinvestment perpetuates their wealth, creating a cycle of increasing affluence. Reiterating, minimize liabilities and expenses to invest surplus funds in assets. Let your money work for you, and over time, watch your wealth grow exponentially. Keycap 3: Build wealth for yourself, not your boss. It's tempting to challenge the idea of leaving secure jobs behind and focusing on acquiring assets. After all, how can one afford assets without a steady job? Is money supposed to fall from the sky? Not quite. No one is suggesting an abrupt departure from your job, certainly not yet. Kiyosaki's third lesson emphasizes minding your own business. This isn't about nosing into others' affairs, it's about tending to your finances, ensuring you earn for yourself beyond what you earn for your employer. In essence, it's making money through asset growth rather than relying solely on promotions and raises. In the realm of personal finance, there's a distinction between your profession and your business. Your profession, typically a 40-hour-a-week commitment, pays for essentials. It might label you as a restaurant owner or sales manager. Your business, however, involves investing time and resources to cultivate your asset base. For Kiyosaki, this journey began young. His poor dad urged a secure job, his rich dad advocated buying assets. Guess whose counsel he followed? Rich dad's. At just 9, he initiated his first business, renting comic books to neighborhood kids, reaping profits without much labor. As he grew older, he held conventional jobs at companies like Xerox and Standard Oil of California. Simultaneously, he kept expenses low, invested his earnings, and cultivated a portfolio of income-generating assets. Kiyosaki's wealth stemmed from nurturing his assets. While his job contributed, the substantial growth came from these investments. He viewed his assets as his personal workforce. Each dollar invested was an employee earning for him, even as he slept. So, if wealth is the goal, mimic this approach. Your salary alone might not make you wealthy, even with added perks. Instead, use it to acquire assets that will. Learn to differentiate between your profession and your business. Only one paves the road to wealth, you know which one. Keycap 4: Learn about taxes. Back in school, Robert cherished the daring tales of Robin Hood and his band of merry men, stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Yet, his rich dad saw this hero as a mere crook. To him, Robin Hood represented the tax system he disdained, one that targeted the wealthy. However, in reality, the rich rarely faced the brunt of such levies. His father believed it was the middle class that bore the weight of taxation, not the wealthy. Their craftiness and access to sophisticated tools allowed them to evade the burden that others faced. Among these tools, the corporation stood as a fortress against taxes. Unlike individuals who are taxed on their entire income and then spend what remains, a corporation spends pre-tax dollars and is only taxed on the surplus after expenses. Think about it, imagine being taxed solely on what you don't spend from your salary. By safeguarding their assets within corporations, the affluent sidestep taxes that the middle class and poor cannot. However, the perks of a corporation extend beyond tax evasion. When individuals default on loans, they risk losing personal assets and facing legal consequences. In contrast, if a corporation fails, owners lose their investment but shield their personal possessions. This safety net enables the rich to gain immense financial rewards without equivalent risks. The crux here is clear: through a profound grasp of the tax code and legal intricacies, the wealthy navigate ahead of the systems constructed to confine them. Keycap 5. Don't neglect financial education. Let's rewind to Robert Kiyosaki's formative years. Rich Dad took Robert and Mike under his wing, offering a first-hand look into his business dealings. They witnessed meetings with bankers, attorneys, and accountants, gaining invaluable insights into successful entrepreneurship. But this knowledge came with a cost. Their newfound financial acumen clashed with the conventional education system's emphasis on study and hard work as pathways to success. Financial literacy remained absent from the curriculum. Topics like saving, investing, and compound interest were foreign concepts. This gap in education results in alarming trends, even among high schoolers who find themselves maxing out credit cards without grasping financial basics. This deficiency extends beyond youth. Well-educated adults often make ill-informed financial choices. Consider the staggering lack of retirement planning. In the U.S., 50% of the workforce lacks pensions, and among those with pensions, 75 to 80% possess inadequate plans. Clearly, society has failed in equipping individuals with essential financial knowledge. Kiyosaki's crucial lesson here? Take charge of your financial education. Self-education is paramount. Develop and implement a robust financial strategy to counteract this pervasive void in financial literacy. Keycap 6. Follow the 3 steps to financial education. Embarking on the journey toward personal wealth is feasible at any life stage, but initiating this journey earlier substantially boosts the likelihood of achieving wealth. Starting at 20 vastly improves the odds, compared to starting at 30. Irrespective of age, follow these 3 crucial steps to begin. First, scrutinize your financial standing. Assess your current job's income prospects and future earning potential against your sustainable expenses. Be brutally honest and avoid factoring in imaginary funds. That coveted Mercedes might not fit your financial reality just yet. Next, establish realistic financial objectives. Consider a timeline, perhaps envision owning that dream car within 5 years, akin to how Kiyosaki's wife, Kim, acquired her Mercedes through earnings from their property investments. The final step involves investing in your financial intelligence, a pivotal asset, the mind. Broaden your financial expertise. For instance, if rejection unnerves you, a stint at a network marketing firm can bolster your sales skills and self-assurance, invaluable assets for your future. Optimize your spare time by enrolling in finance courses, attending seminars, devouring relevant literature, and connecting with financial experts. Recapping, assess your situation, set financial goals, and fortify your financial acumen. Building your financial foundation on these pillars significantly heightens your prospects of future wealth, and that Mercedes in your garage. Keycap 7. Spot opportunities and take risks. Let's delve into your financial mindset, a pivotal aspect if you aspire to transform your financial status. To alter your financial trajectory, you must approach finances differently. A fundamental shift often required involves embracing risk. In reality, it's not always the intellectually astute who surge ahead, it's those willing to take bold leaps. Whether labeled chutzpah, courage, or audacity, a willingness to face risks is a common trait among the affluent. Why? Failing to conquer fear leads to missed opportunities. The scholarly and clever often struggle financially due to their fear of societal disapproval, confining themselves to the rat race. Similarly, their fear of financial loss inhibits investments in stocks or other assets. They fail to recognize that success demands bravery. Financial intelligence, in essence, comprises two crucial elements, knowledge and courage. These facets set the affluent apart. Remember Lesson 5, financial intelligence empowers the wealthy to generate wealth in any scenario. They discern opportunities, respond adeptly, and possess the audacity to act. While it might seem like luck from afar, they're actually crafting their fortunes. Observing Rich Dad's business dealings, Robert and Mike gleaned a vital lesson education couldn't provide. True success demands courage alongside hard work. When you merge financial know-how with courage, you swiftly identify opportunities and maximize them, almost creating wealth out of thin air. Keycap 8. Explore stocks, bonds, and tax-lien investments. Let's delve into the concept of risk. What does it truly entail? Taking risks implies deviating from the safety of conventional financial choices, such as placing money in basic checking and savings accounts at the bank. Instead of playing it safe, consider investing in stocks or bonds. While these investments are deemed riskier than standard bank accounts, they carry the potential for substantially greater wealth. In certain instances, like with stocks, this wealth accumulation can occur rapidly. If you prefer not to venture into the stock market, numerous other investments can foster long-term wealth growth. Examples include real estate or tax lien certificates. Tax lien certificates offer interest rates ranging from 8% to 30%, significantly higher than the average 0.21% interest rate for American savings accounts in 2013. Undoubtedly, the higher the potential return, the greater the associated risk. For instance, investing in stocks carries a slight chance of losing the entire investment. However, refraining from taking such risks guarantees minimal returns. Recognize that undertaking more significant challenges and managing the accompanying risks is imperative for initiating substantial income growth. This approach aligns with the philosophy advocated by Rich Dad. Keycap 9. Work to learn, not just to earn. We've explored how your money should labor for you, the significance of financial intelligence, and the value of boldness. Now, there's another crucial lesson to glean from Rich Dad. When Robert graduated from college, securing a steady, well-paying job seemed like a dream come true, especially to his educated but financially struggling father. For many, it might have been the ultimate success, but not for Rich Dad, and definitely not for Robert. Around 6 months into his job, he made a surprising move. He left to join the Marine Corps to learn flying. While his poor dad was bewildered, his rich dad applauded his decision. Why the applause? Rich Dad grasped Robert's motive. He wasn't solely after a reliable income, he sought knowledge. He was pursuing work that would offer valuable lessons. Rich Dad had instilled in him the notion that possessing a broad array of knowledge was crucial for financial success. Robert wasn't merely working to earn, he aimed to equip himself with skills that would generate income through his assets. His poor dad couldn't fathom it. To him, Robert's actions contradicted the path to wealth. An academic with a PhD, his father believed that specialization, not a diverse knowledge base, led to riches. In academia, the trajectory often entails narrowing your focus as you advance, culminating in specialization. Medical professionals, for instance, tend to specialize in specific fields like orthopedics or pediatrics post-graduation. However, this approach didn't serve Robert's poor dad well. His extensive education didn't significantly boost his earnings. In contrast, Rich Dad, who never completed 8th grade, championed a diverse knowledge foundation. To enrich Robert and Mike, Rich Dad exposed them to various departments in his business empire, from restaurants and construction to sales, marketing, accounts, and reservations. Their objective wasn't pinpointing a single career field but amassing a diverse skill set essential for financial prosperity. Hence, the sixth and crucial lesson emerges: don't work solely for earnings, working to learn holds far greater importance. Rich Dad Poor Dad Review. You've nailed the key lessons from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's incredible how these insights paved the way for Kiyosaki's immense success, estimated at a net worth of around $100 million. To recap, Lesson 1 emphasized that the wealthy don't toil solely for money. Staying in the rat race enriches others, not yourself. Lesson 2 advises gaining financial education, recognizing genuine assets, and investing in them. The third lesson? Maintain your day job, cut costs, and establish a side business to generate additional income. Understanding the tax system, Lesson 4, empowers the wealthy to retain their wealth effectively. The fifth rule underscores the need for boldness, embracing opportunities, and effectively inventing money. Lastly, Lesson 6 advocates working not just to earn, but to broaden your knowledge base.